What does it really take for a business to not just, well, survive, but to genuinely stand out, especially when it's kind of breaking new ground in an industry that's changing super fast? Is it just the product, or is there maybe a deeper philosophy behind it all? Today, for those of you watching how new industries evolve, particularly, say, in Southeast Asia, we're doing a really fascinating deep dive. It's called Grandma Jazz, Thailand's holistic cannabis experience. And our info today comes mainly from Nug Notes. They're a great source, really focused on these kinds of innovative cannabis ventures. So our mission here isn't just to describe Grandma Jazz. We really want to unpack how it functions less like a typical business and more like a movement, and what concrete lessons, things you can actually use does it offer for building authentic, values-driven companies, especially in a field that's, well, still figuring things out. We're aiming to cut through the noise and give you a quick but hopefully profound understanding of this really standout venture.
Yeah, and what's really striking about Grandma Jazz right from the get-go is its origin story. It didn't just pop out of a business plan spreadsheet. The Nug Note source, it tells us it was born from a really simple chat. Just, sunset, hammock in the Phuket hills. Between Akareya, he's a UK-raised creative, and his Thai partner, Joy Vonglek. And Joy is described as the soul of the whole place. Stepping back a bit, it just shows how, personal passions and these kinds of unexpected connections can spark whole new business models, especially when you're driven by wanting to build something, well, meaningful.
That is fascinating. So right away, their vision was clearly much bigger than just, selling stuff.
Yeah.
What were some of those founding ideas, maybe beyond the zero waste part, that really made them different from the start?
Well, that commitment to a zero-waste cannabis cafe, that was huge, but also this idea that all the senses needed to be engaged. And that the flower, the cannabis itself, had to be local. Always. A deep respect for the land, it was just baked in from day one.
Right.
And for them, this isn't just some niche marketing thing. I think the insight here is that if you commit to a really strong, visible, ethical stance, even in a brand new market, that itself can be a huge differentiator. It can really draw in like-minded customers, partners,
That's a massive commitment, though, isn't it? Especially for a startup in a totally new market. Did Nug Notes talk about the biggest hurdles they hit trying to do that right from the beginning? I mean, just sourcing plastic-free packaging must have been tricky.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a commitment like that definitely brings its own headaches, its own complexities. But the sources really stress how unwavering they were. This clean, green, and plastic-free approach. It's core to who they are. The source actually details it. No baggies, no foil, no cutting corners. They use bamboo straws. They give out complimentary canvas smoking bags, offer refillable tins. It's not just an internal thing either. It's a part of this bigger vision they have called the GreenFlow Movement, which is actually getting support from the Phuket Cannabis Association and other shops that are also trying to go zero waste.
Okay.
So it shows this powerful belief that their values can actually, lead change across the industry.
So they're looking beyond their own shop, trying to influence the whole sector. That connects perfectly with another really unique thing about Grandma Jazz, that signature jazz ritual they do. How does that actually work, and what does it sort of add to their whole philosophy?
Right, the jazz ritual. So every Saturday, 4:20 p.m., their place up on the hilltop, it just transforms. You've got live saxophone, an upright piano. Guests are chilling with cold brew, reflecting, sipping, smoking.
That's amazing.
It's not just background music, it's a very deliberate act. It's about building community, integrating the whole experience into something mindful, a ritual. It really speaks to this idea that in a new industry, creating these meaningful shared experiences can be just as important, maybe even more so, than the simple transaction.
A live sax and piano at 4:20. That sounds incredibly immersive. Makes you wonder, what's the actual vibe like there? Did Nug Notes give any sense of the feeling of those Saturday sessions, beyond just the mechanics of it?
The feeling conveyed is definitely one of deep reverence and connection. People really connect there. And, that commitment to authenticity, it brings up another important point. How do they actually make sure the quality is there? And that the strains people are enjoying during these sessions are genuinely local.
Good question.
Well, the source confirms it. Strains like, say, Pineapple Express, Blueberry Muffin, or Dips are all grown pesticide-free and sourced locally right from Chiang Mai in the north all the way down to Shillong near them in Phuket.
That's quite a geographic spread for local sourcing.
Yeah.
How do they pull that off? And does focusing on specific regions like that add to their uniqueness?
It absolutely does. That dedication to genuine local sourcing really highlights what you might call a terroir-forward approach, like with wine.
Ah, okay. Like the land influences the product.
Exactly. And that's pretty rare in a lot of these emerging cannabis markets. So it's really no surprise their whole vibe just went viral, right? Reels started popping up on travel blogs and,
Yeah.
hand-rolled Thai flower, Coltrane records playing.
Right.
And what's really incredible is who shows up. It's everyone. Backpackers, doctors, newlyweds, terp chasers, the folks really into the aromas, even total first-timers. They all make the journey up the hill just to, session with grandma.
Wow.
So it's clearly moved way beyond the old sort of boys smoking club stereotype.
Yeah.
And that broad appeal, it just demonstrates the power of creating a space that feels welcoming to everyone, that transcends those typical niche categories.
It really sounds like they've figured out how to build some serious customer loyalty. How does Nugnotes describe their approach there? Especially since they don't do the usual things like punch cards or loyalty points.
Yeah, no punch cards. What's fascinating is their explicit philosophy, family over followers. That's the phrase they use.
Family over followers.
Instead of loyalty cards, they literally write guests' names, quotes, memories, insights right onto the walls, printed out, put up there. So it's not really retail in the way we usually think about it. It's described quite profoundly, I think, as return-to-home energy.
Mm-hmm.
The insight for other businesses, maybe, is that this kind of genuine personal connection, building that sense of belonging, it can forge a bond that's way stronger than any transactional loyalty program could ever manage.
Return to home energy. That's a really powerful way to put it. It underlines that core idea you mentioned, culture over commerce. So while other shops might be chasing, I don't know, the highest THC percentages, Grandma Jazz stays focused on that terroir-forward, Thai-grown cannabis. And they actively teach people how to toke with respect. I read about that they even have a smoking hat as a sign of respect for elders and musicians.
That's right, the smoking hat. It's all about intentionality.
It is. This whole approach clearly sets them apart. But what are the broader implications of choosing culture first in a world that's usually driven by commerce?
Well, it suggests that when an industry is brand new, like this one was, there's a real opportunity. You can define its culture right from the start. You don't just have to copy existing business models. By grounding themselves in tradition, in respect, they're not just selling, a product. They're curating an experience. They're educating their customers. And that cultural foundation, it makes them resilient. It gives them an authentic voice. And this commitment, it goes digital too. They've got a strong presence on Spotify. You can actually find their profile, black and white logo, man and woman at a bar. And they have public playlists, Day Vision, Cafe Evening, Indica, Sativa, Grandma's Groove.
Huh. So you can tap into their vibe anywhere?
Exactly. It's another way they invite you into their world. It really blurs the lines between just being a business and offering a whole lifestyle.
So they're building this global reach, but staying super rooted locally. Their legacy is definitely being built right now. Nugnotes also mentioned that back in 2024, Aska judged the Primpavi Ganja Cup, and Joy hosted a female-focused 420 session. What did these kinds of industry engagements tell us about their vision, beyond just their own shop?
I think those actions show that Grandma Jazz isn't just happy to, operate within the rules as they are. They want to actively shape and elevate the industry itself. Judging a cup, that shows they're influencing quality standards. And Joy's initiative with the female 420 session, that really highlights their commitment to inclusivity, to expanding who feels welcome in the cannabis community, tackling areas that often get overlooked.
Right.
The source even hints that a family requires more than just a grandma, which suggests they see their model as something that could inspire others, maybe grow into a broader network of similar values-first ventures. So yeah, circling back to where we started, Grandma Jazz isn't just your average dispensary. It really embodies that return-to-home energy. It's a lifestyle with soul. And it's a powerful example, I think, of how you can destigmatize something, not just through policy, but through creating an experience that's holistic, welcoming, and culturally rich.
Absolutely. I mean, what we've really learned from digging into Grandma Jazz is just how deliberate they are. That focus on culture over commerce, their absolute commitment to zero waste, the way they build community, those unique rituals like the Saturday Jazz, it really does set a new bar. And those specific details, like the smoking hat for respect or sourcing pesticide-free strains all the way from Chiang Mai to Geelong, it matters. Plus, their global reach now through YouTube and those Spotify playlists you mentioned, Day Vision, Grandma's Groove, they've really built something special by, prioritizing connection and authenticity in a brand new industry.
Which leads to a really interesting final thought, doesn't it? Given how successful Grandma Jazz has been at cultivating connection and respect in this newly legal space, what lessons can other industries, emerging ones, or even ones that are well established, learn from their whole smoke slow, stay a while philosophy? How can they create deeper, more meaningful experiences for their communities that go beyond just the sale?